Welcome back. It's our fifth Coach and Rick Corey Sports Special. That's right, week number one, which we passed week zero, so we're at week one. Keith Riggs, who had a wonderful win against Santa Fe, joins us. A huge game tonight with Owasso rolling in. Congratulations, first of all, on the early win. I was reading the Tulsa World article, and they talked about some of the really classic games you've had with Santa Fe. This one wasn't quite so close.
Well, thank you, Rick. The last three have been right down to the wire. They Coach White does an outstanding job with them. They've got really good teams every year. We really got things rolling early in the game this past Friday, and really proud of how our kids played Friday night.
I would imagine you had some spectacular performances. KD Jones, 207 yards, Owen Jones. And, it'd be great to start with KD, but I really want to start with Owen because I've seen him play, obviously, and he just seems to have settled in. Is that a decent description?
I think so. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He's really comfortable in what we're trying to accomplish offensively. He just, when you have that confidence, things just tend to go smoother. Has a really good understanding of our new offense, and it really showed Friday night.
One of the things that helps, obviously, he goes into the season knowing that he's the quarterback. How has he changed, or has he, knowing that he's the guy, or at least the guy who has to lose the job, if you will?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that had was a big factor in it or not. I think just, second season here at Jenks, in spite of the new offense, there's a lot of things that are just he's more comfortable with now. He knows kind of our practice routine, the school routine. A lot of factors go into your preparation, and just all those things are no longer new to him. And so I think that all of those things kind of play into that confidence that he has now.
I'm glad you said new offense. Jay Wilkinson. I mean, this guy has been around some really good offenses. He's won titles before. Normally, when a coach comes in, the integration is fairly smooth. We actually talked about this on the radio show many months ago, but now it's game one. Communication had to happen. How did all that go?
Well, I thought it went very well. We're running a lot of the same plays we've always run. Terminology has changed a little bit, but the faster tempo, I think, has been the biggest change for our kids. But they've really embraced it. They've done a great job. Our communication amongst our coaches, and then from the coaches out onto the field, I thought went really well Friday night. So for that being really the first time to execute all that in a game scenario, I thought it went really well.
That's an interesting topic to get into because you as a head coach are in charge of everything in that building. I mean, from the top down. So not only are you evaluating players, team scores, wins, but it's coaches, communication, were the special teams guys in the right place at the right time. Is that harder earlier in the season? Does it then become kind of almost second nature as the season goes along and you can pay more attention to just football?
Well, I think you have more to focus on early in the season. We have some new coaches as well, and getting them engaged and involved is really important. But all of our guys have done a great job in adapting to the new offense and the terminology and embracing their roles.
But apparently you do it fairly well. You're 6-1 in openers, so something's going fairly well in there. You talked about the offense going faster. Is that something you think Owen is handling very well because he's been around now a couple of years?
Well, I don't know. I guess so. It is a big change. I think there were at times last week when we didn't go quite as fast as Coach Wilkinson would have liked. And part of that is just, we're still getting used to it, right? And that will all come with time and experience and getting used to, you want to, even though we're no huddle, we're going to vary the tempo, and there's times we want to go really fast, and there's times we want to settle in and get a good look at the defense. And so those are some things that we'll learn and grow toward, with each game.
Well, and speaking of defense, you only gave up 3 to Santa Fe, a team that's usually pretty good, and they've got a heck of a running back over there. What did you do so well against these guys?
Well, Coach Gaylor had a great game plan, but our kids executed it, and that's kind of a key there that sometimes is missed. You know, you can have the best game plan if your kids don't execute it. You know, it really doesn't matter. And we did a really good job. Their running back is an outstanding running back. You know, we've had to face him for 4 years now. So we did a great job of stopping the run. They've got a young quarterback who's just going to get better and better as the year goes on, but he is inexperienced. You know, it's his first start there at Santa Fe, and I think that stopping the run and forcing them into passing situations was really a key.
Speaking of Coach Gaylor, how's his wife doing?
She's doing great. Yes, she is.
And for those who don't know, Adam Gaylor's wife is struggling or fighting against cancer and doing very, very well. We talked to him on the air about it too back on the radio show, and I'm just glad to hear that's gone well. I haven't heard much about it lately. Any particular areas of the team you looked at when the film had been broken down, you went, wow, that's even better than I thought.
Well, I was really pleased with our offensive line. You know, we had four new faces on our offensive line. Friday night, I thought they executed really well, and we had some young starters, you know, first time starters, a couple of guys that got thrown in, you know, during the game because of a couple of injuries. Really pleased with how they stepped in and performed as well.
Yeah, you mentioned that early offensive line. Some of these guys are guys that are new to the program that aren't necessarily young. Do they have the same kind of a, I don't know, growing pain learning curve as maybe a very young player? I know it's different that they're more physically mature, but still, it's still a first time, if you will.
I think there are some similarities. You know, experience is experience. If you have experience, you know, playing, especially in big games, there's value in that. But also just, you know, somebody that's new to Jenks, you know, everything's new. The class schedule's new. Your whole day is new. The people around you are new, and all those things, you know, factor in as well.
All right, now you got Owasso coming in and a really big first game win for Coach Antonio Graham. And both of us have known him a long time. He's a wonderful guy. And when he took that job, he said, I want to put a different stamp on this program. Having seen the film, what do you see different right now in that Owasso team than you would have in said Coach Blankenship's teams?
Well, boy, they had a great game plan, I think, for Bixby. Really took advantage of their strengths. They've got a lot of big physical offensive linemen, and so they spent a lot of time with an extra lineman on the field, and that created some challenges both in the run game, but then they took some shots over the top while they were in those big sets and capitalized on that. So um, offensively, I think it looked a little different than what we've seen out of Coach Blankenship teams. But hats off to their coaches and the game plan they've put together. Defensively, I think Antonio still has his fingers a little
Yes.
bit, you know, and what's going on there. Very, you know, kind of an attack style defense up front, and they do a great job with their blitzes and getting guys free, rushing the quarterback.
Everything's about matchups. When you look at the film, any matchups you're particularly excited about or things you're looking at and thinking we need to focus right there?
Well, I think, you know, for our defense, you know, I think a key matchup is our defensive front against that offensive line they have. They played so well last week. So I think that's going to be key. You know, offensively, can we pick up those blitzes and can we take they're going to try to keep everything in front of them and tackle it, make you snap it again. So can we take advantage of the things they're going to give you, you know, and remain patient in trying to put together drives.
Well, and I think the atmosphere might be just a little bit peaked tonight over there, huh? I mean, you're probably hearing about it already, aren't you?
It's going to be loud. Yes, it's probably standing room only. Really looking forward to it.
I can imagine you would be. All right. So, every year that we talk to you guys, we always try to get to know a little bit more about you. So on a game day, I know I've known coaches who were so nervous they would throw up every game day. I knew coaches, like Coach Blankenship was asleep against a lamp pole once before a game out in Clovis, California. What's your game day ritual?
Well, um, I try to keep busy early in the day, just to kind of keep, you can overthink a game if you just sit and dwell on it an entire day, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, but once you get to lunch and afternoon, all the focus starts going towards the game and playing through scenarios, just being prepared, for the decisions you might have to make that night, and I don't know, kind of role playing in your head, if you will, to make sure, as a head coach, you got to be ready, just like your coordinators and just like
Yep.
your kids.
Ever get the you still get first game jitters?
Yes, get the butterflies. Yes. And just like a player, they all go away once that first kickoff happens. But yeah, I don't know that those ever go away. Or at least they haven't for me.
No, 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 I don't think so either. For me, they do for me as a dive instructor when I'm going to a class. I mean, I understand it. And I always tell people if it means something to you, that will happen. But you know what they say?
Mhm.
Players want to get that first hit. Maybe you should just grab yourself a pair of pads and have somebody whack you once before the game. You think that help?
Let one of my kids headbutt me. That'd be a good get off to a good start. Yes.
Well, Keith, thanks very much. We'll do this weekly, and I appreciate you checking in. Should be a tremendous atmosphere tonight. Good luck out there.
All right. Thank you, Rick.